Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Good afternoon. What's going on, everybody? Eric Frandsen.
Eric!
Ajay Knight, Ajay Salvesen. Appreciate you guys helping me out the last hour.
Always happy to oblige.
And as much as we tried, Ajay has still found his way to be on the air, even though he's hanging out in his pajamas on his couch, wrapped in a Snuggie.
Hey, Eric, I got a question. Can I stay at your St. George mansion that you have, that you and Mr. Frandsen built, so I can go hang out there and know what it's like to get paid to just go be in St. George and, do nothing?
Yeah, if you know how that works, let me know. I'd love to participate in that program too.
Oh shoot, Eric, welcome back. Good to have you. Big thanks to AJ for helping us out. Despite I couldn't hear him for the first 30 minutes or whatever it was.
How's that any different than any other time anyone's on air with?
No, don't. Okay, don't get all offended with me because you sat there and teased me that Le'Veon Bell is going to the Patriots. And then told me that he's going to the freaking Chiefs.
I did not say that. Actually,
I remember it something like that.
Before we go on with the NFL, we should ask Eric our question, and we had our texters answer.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you rather have as a coach, Jeff Van Gundy or Mark Jackson?
Oh, Jeff Van Gundy.
Wow.
Thank you.
I can't stand this place.
Mark Jackson, I can't stand him when he does television because he offers no substance.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean he's a terrible coach. I think the game passed Van Gundy.
It's a window to how this guy sees the game. He's not analyzing the game, like how he was in position and how this play developed. It's he drove with authority. That's all he says.
Well,
it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive. What does that mean?
That was my problem with Gruden, is Gruden loved everybody, and they said the reason was he didn't want to make anyone mad because he knew eventually he was going to go back to coaching. I think Van Gundy's like, I don't care, coaching or not. I'm telling it like it is. The same thing with Barkley. He doesn't care.
Barkley doesn't care. Now, I think that it's Jeff Van Gundy or Stan? I guess both of them are actually being talked to
so Stan's going for the Pelicans job. Jeff Van Gundy's interviewing for the Houston Rockets job.
Where he was before, right? He spent some time
he was there. Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, he had that group.
I guess there's news today, Daryl Morey stepping away from Houston as their
general manager. About that? Hey, well, AJ and I were talking about this. Eric, I want to get your thoughts too. With Daryl stepping away, do they maybe transition to a different way of basketball? For example, does Russell Westbrook get traded?
Well, I think it depends on who the head coach is. I think just because, there's a lot of change with Houston. They will not be the same type of offense. There's going to be a different head coach philosophy. There's going to be a different front office philosophy. I think that there may be still a way for James Harden and Russell Westbrook to coexist, but I think it's going to be different than what we've seen it the last several years. But I'm surprised that position is still open. That hasn't.
Me too. I'm shocked. Absolutely, I'm with you on that one.
What surprises you more that hasn't been filled yet, Indiana or Houston?
AJ, what do you think?
Well, Houston doesn't have a GM, so I guess it makes sense because, look, the GM-coach combo doesn't work, so I guess it depends on who the GM is, and I wonder, could the Daryl Morey thing be like ownership was like, all right, this is not working. We need to tear apart. And Daryl Morey's like, no, we need to win. And he's like, all right, I'm leaving then because they're disagreeing.
Because the Indiana position's been open longer.
Yeah. Man, that's tough. Is it one of those things where, like, it's free agency with players where you're waiting to see, because, like, Tyronn Lue was kind of the top guy, so you're waiting to see where he goes, and then all the other dominoes will fall in place? Is that what it maybe was?
Could be. So Tyronn Lue's going to the Clippers?
Yeah.
Is that where that's development?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think that's a good move. But what happens with New Orleans, what happens with Indiana, and what happens with Oklahoma City? And I guess in Houston there's still those 4 vacancies. But to be honest, I'm surprised that Indiana is still open. Do we give too much credit to that team? Do we not need to be talking about that team's dysfunction like we often talk about other teams that are dysfunctional? I mean, they usually are kind of a playoff team, but they never go anywhere.
No. They're the new age Atlanta Hawks. They're going to make
That's a
it
good comparison.
and do nothing. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, if you read any of the offseason stuff, that's what it talks about. They're like, what are the Pacers going to do? Do they trade Miles Turner? Because Miles Turner and who's the forward they got from Oklahoma City? He was just an all-star.
Victor Oladipo?
No, the big guy, the white guy, the forward. I can't think of his name.
Oh, the guy from Lithuania?
Yeah.
Sabonis?
Yes, because Sabonis plays better as a stretch 5, so they can't really play Turner and them, and then they drafted another big guy, so they seem to develop talent because Oladipo seemed like a kind of a lost cause when he got there, and they became an all-star, but you know, you can develop talent, but you need superstars to win, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. They would seem like someone like the Bulls or the Knicks who, like, we're not going to get the top guy, so they would seem like they would have a shorter list of candidates that were more realistic.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that we haven't seen a hire there yet. I don't really know what they're looking for, who they're waiting for to be available, unless they've got somebody targeted either on the Miami staff or the Lakers staff.
Ooh, interesting. Jason
The
Kidd.
Lakers staff would be interesting.
Yeah, Jason Kidd may be a possibility.
I hope, dude. You don't want Kidd to be coaching your team.
I completely agree. He's bad.
Like, as bad as Mark Jackson is, I would take Mark Jackson over Jason Kidd.
Yeah, so obviously the order's Jeff Van Gundy, AJ Knight, Ajay Salvesen as a combo team, every college Division III coach, then Mark Jackson, and then every high school hockey coach to coach your basketball team, and then Jason Kidd.
Well, we kind of talked about this maybe a few weeks ago, but hasn't the role of a head coach in the NBA just really changed? I think it was really evident with the hire in Brooklyn, and now all of a sudden his name's slipping my mind.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, thank you. See his face. Where people really questioned, well, he doesn't have a lot of coaching experience. So how does he know X's and O's? But that's what your assistant coaches, that's what your bench is for, your bench coaches. You got one guy that can focus on offense, one guy that can focus on defense, one guy that focuses on bigs, one guy who focuses on guards. The head coach just tries to manage the personalities of your stars.
Yeah.
So has the role of the head coach changed, and the people we normally think of as being a prototypical quote-unquote good head coach maybe is different in today's NBA?
Well, that's what Ajay and I were talking about, because that's what I said with Tyronn Lue, because Ajay asked me if I thought if the hire was going to work, and to me, I don't know, because it seems like you've had this transition into more coaches that were former players, and I know that it's always been alluded to that NBA especially seems to have more respect in terms of coaching hires to those players that have been there, done that. But the only way to not be a player is if you come in with a track record, and maybe that's just dying out now, because maybe there's not going to be another Popovich, because even Phil Jackson was a former player. I don't know. I don't think Brooklyn's going to win anything. I don't know. I don't think it's actually going to have anything to do with Steve Nash. I think his two-star players, much like the Clippers, are not going to be able to carry the team there. But yeah, I think it has transitioned. It's about managing egos and making sure that they listen to the assistants probably in the crunch time when it's like, this is what we got to do.
Well, look at the coaches that were in the NBA Finals here just recently, Frank Vogel and Eric Spoelstra, two guys who started out their coaching careers in the film room.
Yeah.
Cutting up tape and just running videos. And they were just basketball junkies and eventually just kind of grew from there. They weren't former players in the NBA, but they were just junkies that were around it and just put their nose to the grindstone and figured it out and learned along the way. So and certainly they have respect in the league, but they've had to earn that respect in a little different way than perhaps a former player stepping in.
Is there?
Well, and Quinn Snyder's another great addition to this. Like, Quinn Snyder started at Duke, right, and then came into the coaching league, but started from the bottom and had to work his way through. After the whole University of Missouri incident that he had, he was kind of banished to the darkness for a while. Ended up coaching G League underneath Greg Popovich for the San Antonio G League team. Did really well there.
Coached in Russia for a while.
Coached in Russia there for a long time. Was on the bench for the Hawks and the Lakers during Kobe Bryant's last years. and then I guess mid-between years, but toward the latter part of his career. And now is finally a head coach at Utah where he's doing great things. So he's another one. Had to work his way up in a different way, but, I mean, started from the ground up.
So there's that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Vogel, what system? He came up as an assistant for Phil, didn't he? Isn't that where he started? Or am I wrong?
No, I don't think he was an assistant for Phil, was he? For Phil,
I don't remember him being in a Phil Jackson
I
system.
would have to look that up. He was an assistant from 01 to 04 with Boston, an assistant with the Sixers for a season, 4 years with the Pacers. Actually, excuse me, 4 years with the Pacers, then was the head coach of the Pacers for 5 years, 2 years with the Magic, and now is with the Lakers.
Okay, so I'm not sure what to. His process, I think, is a little bit for the Spoelstra one. I think is a case of he got validation by O'Reilly. O'Reilly put the stamp on him and said, "This guy," because there's plenty of stories. LeBron wanted him gone, and Pat O'Reilly was like, "No, this guy." And then he was not. He couldn't go anywhere, and then he proved his merit. And so that one, I think there's the long road, or maybe if you're an assistant of someone, they could put a stamp on you, so to speak. But it seems like if you're not a former player, you're quickly going to run out of NBA coaching jobs.
Yeah, I guess that's true, and I think one of the other things too is that what we're seeing is there is a movement to. I think the Frank Vogel, Eric Spoelstra thing; those are anomalies.
Yeah.
I think they stand out on the fringes because I think what we're seeing more and more of is these players who turn coaches. A lot of these guys now were former coaches, or excuse me, were former players, and so there's that. Can you command the respect of your locker room?
Yes.
I mean, this is the Steve Nash thing. Can you can you communicate to your stars, and can they understand who you are and what you're trying to come from? And so, if a former player probably has a little better chance of achieving that, at least more quickly.
Yes.
I think somebody that came up through the coaching ranks may have an opportunity to still do that, but it probably takes longer.
Yeah, they got to go the long way, like you said with Quinn Snyder. I mean, and I the players have always been there because the Dallas coach is a great example. He was a player on some of those great Boston Celtics teams. It just took him forever to finally become the coach, and he's obviously very well respected. But yeah, I think you're right. I should amend my statement. There will be coaching jobs for not former players. It's just going to take you a long time to get there.
It's a longer road.
Yeah.
True. That's true. So, but I think this Daryl Morey stepping aside thing is pretty significant. In addition to them not having a head coach, he says that he's going to stay on as an advisory role until they do find a new head coach. But I think it really signals that Houston has tried a certain style for several years now and have decided it's not working. It's time to go in a different direction.
So can I ask you, Eric, what is that style? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, they went from having a dominant big man, not one of the most dominant in the league, but still a dominant big man in Clint Capella, to giving him away, playing small ball, and then getting roasted for it. So what was Daryl Morey's style?
I think his style was, look, we're going to run analytics. We're going to just do what the analytics tell us, that either shoot a three or a layup. And if you can't make yourself available, if you can't develop into a player that can do that, then it doesn't really make sense to have you on the team. And so they're looking at the numbers that, look, you can get more points for a three-point shot than you can a two-point shot, so we're just going to chuck up threes. But if you're not going to do that, you have to attack the rim and get layups. And if you can't do one of those things, then there's not a place for you really on the roster.
No, that's a great point. In fact, I never thought about the analytic thing of him. He was extremely big into that, huge into it, probably to an annoyance of Mike D'Antoni and the crew about the analytics. And he was very vocal about analytics and how it helped his team become better, even though they couldn't ever get past the Western Conference Finals into the NBA Finals, despite the talented roster they actually had. Yeah,
I think that team has the biggest questions of anybody in the offseason because you've got two former MVPs. You got guys with some pretty big egos, but guys who know each other and have proven that they can play together. But that whoever that new coach is, whatever that front office direction is going to look like, it's going to be very interesting because that Houston team has had success. I mean, they make to the playoffs. They go deep into the playoffs every year for the last 4 or 5 years. And one of the teams with the longest streak into the playoffs currently in the NBA. So there's going to be a lot of demands and expectations on whomever takes those positions for Houston.
Hey, another question. AJ and I were talking about this. Chris Paul, a veteran point guard. I'm sure he's going to be wanted by some teams. But, I mean, is it realistic to take on that gruesome of a contract? AJ, do you remember the numbers on that?
He actually just had to step out for just a second.
Okay. Yeah, so the numbers were ugly, if I remember right, for the contract of Chris Paul. Is that an attractive? I mean, look, he's a great veteran leader. He just led the Oklahoma City Thunder into the playoffs. But does the contract scare you away?
Yeah, AJ, what did you say that the contract situation was for Chris Paul?
41, I think this year, 44 next year.
Oh, my gosh.
Somebody his age, yes, I would be absolutely scared.
Okay.
Probably get him through this year, and then I think he would be an attractive trade offer next year because he'd have a big, fat, expiring contract. But I don't know. I would be surprised if it'll be hard for the Thunder to trade him. I know they want to try to develop this young team, and they've got a lot of young draft picks in their disposal. But they may not just use those to draft a lot of new young guys. They may use those as trade opportunities too, either to move up in the draft or to get somebody that they want instead of free agency. They'll use that to go get the guys that they need. So there may be some package deals there where Oklahoma City says, look, we'll give you Chris Paul and one of our first-round picks. In exchange, this is the type of player we need with this squad that we currently have.
Yeah, they may not be done dealing either. I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but one of the big popular rumors is that obviously Miami, one of the things they need is a stretch four, so Gallinari's been tied to that team. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do like a sign-and trade because a lot of people think they're going to sign a one-year deal with Dragic. And so a sign-and trade would let Miami wait and fit that in, obviously with the way the cap rules work, so they may not be done getting picks.
Do you think Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler could coexist?
No.
They're very similar mentalities.
I'm with Eric.
I think it's a really interesting duo.
But you're talking about talents, you guys. You weren't talking about personality. Like, whole personality thing. Come on. Jimmy Butler was just finally starting to get along with all the friends at his playground, okay? You don't want to freaking bring in some other new guy on the block who thinks he owns everybody because he's the biggest kid in regards of age or whatever, statutory or prestige. You don't mess that up. Like, you have a good thing going with the Heat. Don't bring something in to mess it up.
I disagree wholeheartedly with Ajay because they said the reason that Jimmy wasn't in Miami is they weren't mentally tough enough. So he went to Philly, and then they didn't take it serious enough, so that's why he was done there. They said that's the reason Lob City blew up in L.A. is because Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan didn't take it serious enough, so they got sick of Chris Paul. It's the same reason they got upset in Houston is because James Harden didn't take it seriously enough, and Chris Paul's like, I'm here to win. Now, they could obviously grind on each other because maybe their methods, their end result, or the process to get to the end result is different. But I'm with Eric. Their mentality is the exact same to me.
Those are two guys cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
So the question is, are those two magnets that oppose each other, or are they two magnets that complement each other?
Could you imagine if they were going the same way? Oof.
Woo. No, it's not going to work. That is such a horrible decision to take Chris Paul on the Miami Heat. Oh, no.
Well, the other thing is, too, the other argument for your case for Chris Paul to Miami is look what Chris Paul did with the young team in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but that's because he was the big dog. That's because he owned the playground. If he goes to Miami, he doesn't own the playground. Jimmy Butler does. Chris Paul ain't going to be good with that.
There's two alphas.
I don't know that that's entirely true. I think that the reason they butted heads the second year in Houston is because he was tired of watching them go down in flames without him having a say in it. I think he came to Houston knowing that he was going to play second fiddle. It's not like he went to Houston and thought I was going to be number one. It's James Harden's team. I think that Chris Paul is okay being number two as long as either they win or if they're going to go down, he's going to get a fair shake to have a chance to alter the results.
But he won't. He won't, dude. Tyler Hero has, he's also big over there now. Bam Bam is a big presence over there. He ain't going to be number 2. He's going to be like number 4, 5. But you still think he'll be okay with that?
Yes.
Oh, that's unreal.
I think I think he'll be number 2. And
oh my gosh.
He will be number 2.
He would be number 2.
No, but by Bam Bam? You think Bam Bam's going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll take a step aside?
I think Bam will play his role and do his thing. I don't think it's necessarily like competing against each other for minutes or the same position on the court.
Didn't they? The constant talking point was that the Heat were a team. They didn't care who scored. They just wanted to win.
Okay, great. So what are you going to do about Goran Dragic?
I mean, tell me, he's coming off a plantar, so it makes that's a factor. Would you rather have Chris Paul or Goran?
I'd rather have Chris Paul.
I think I would too.
Oh, dude, that's just...
Goran was an afterthought until this year in Miami.
Yeah, he had a resurgence this year, absolutely.
Great. Chris Paul was an afterthought in Houston because James Harden was there.
Yeah, James Harden is a ball-dominant guard. Chris Paul was
and
an
Jimmy
afterthought
Butler
for
is a
one season.
ball-dominant guard.
No. Look, Jimmy is from the Bulls. Jimmy can win in a lot of ways. I'm not going to let you besmirch him that way.
Jimmy Butler was ball dominant in the NBA Finals because he had to be. During the regular playoffs, he wasn't. During the regular playoffs, Goran Dragic led the team in scoring in one of the series. Bam Adebayo led the team in the Eastern Conference Finals in scoring. So there are different guys on that team that led, and Jimmy Butler didn't have to be ball dominant. He only had to be ball dominant in the finals because Goran Dragic was not available.
Yes.
So he was the guy initiating the offense.
Look, that team loves Goran Dragic. That team loves and adores Goran Dragic. You think, and I'm being dead serious, you think that team's going to be like, yeah, we'd love to get rid of Goran Dragic for Chris Paul, who's 65 years old, and is going to come in and think that this is his offense. And dude, he's so impatient with his own teammates. We've seen him yell at guys.
So's Butler. So's Butler.
Yeah, So,
dude, this isn't going to work.
Jimmy
this
Butler
isn't going to work.
Paul.
This isn't going to work.
Okay,
there's no way.
If this isn't going to work, gets me to the NBA Finals, I'll take this isn't going to work. I mean, better than Boston. Hey, here's a question for you. We're talking about coaches. Brad Stevens on the hot seat?
Yes,
no.
Absolutely.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
I think he's got to be getting close. To me, personally, a lot of that team's shortcomings for this, and I've written about this, is age. Because it's the same reason the Dodgers annoy me. You have all these assets, and you're like, we could go for the championship, but nah, let's see. Think AD, Kawhi, Paul George, Chris Paul. I mean, there's the superstars they could have acquired would have been they had an all-star team they could have gotten, and it wouldn't have cost them much in terms of their overall assets. And they're like, nah, and yet again, not the finals. I think
they got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, but they did that without Kyrie Irving the one year.
True.
They got to Game 7 in that one against LeBron.
This is true.
Granted, that was King James and 4 cadavers, but still, they got there.
All right, we got to take a time out here on the Full Court Press. Love to get your thoughts on the discussion today. Chris Paul to Miami. Can Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler coexist?
Yes. Someone give me a hell no!
Also coming up a little bit later on, we got our pick 6 we're going to do. Instead of 3 lines from Ajay and myself, we'll do 2 each. 2 from me, 2 from AJ, 2 from Ajay. And we'll see, kind of preview some of the things that are coming up this weekend. An update on what's going on right now in Major League Baseball playoffs. And an update on 4A girls soccer playoffs as well. We got those scores from yesterday. We'll update you who advances, where those games are being played. Stick around. It's on the Full Court Press.
New Horizons Beauty College loves having USU students in town. In fact, they offer 15% student discounts Tuesday through Thursday. They also offer senior and military discounts. The students at New Horizons Beauty College are trained in all the latest trends and techniques. Plus, New Horizons has great prices on the products to help you maintain that new look. All services performed by students and closely supervised by licensed instructors. New Horizons Beauty College, 550 North Main in Logan.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. I had a friend text me the other day saying how happy he is that he bought a new mattress last month. He, like the rest of us, are spending a lot more time at home. You may even be listening to this radio ad on your mattress at home. even if it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No judgment here. We're practicing all safe guidelines and we're open all day, every day but Sunday. The deals have never been better. More than ever, isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress by the South Walmart.
Building a signature landscape requires design and expertise. Canyon Landscaping offers both. They've been creating, building, and maintaining landscapes for over 20 years. With a combined 100 years of management experience, their in-house landscape architecture team designs and manages each job with experienced installers who ensure a signature project. Are you ready for the yard you've always wanted? Don't wait. 752-3838 or go to canyonlandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
They're celebrating 30 years at the Logo Shop. They logo everything from pens and water bottles to travel bags and coolers. It's also the season to get your order in for the holidays. The Logo Shop will custom screen print or embroider your logo on shirts, jackets, and other outerwear. You can even browse their inventory and get price quote online at WeLogoStuff.com.
The Logo Shop. Logo Stuff. The Logo Shop.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL, two AFC East foes collide in South Florida as the Miami Dolphins host the New York Jets. Hi, this is Chris Carino. Join Brian Bulger and me for all the action. Can Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins build an impressive win out west, or will the Jets jumpstart their season against their division rivals? It's the Dolphins and the Jets. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Sunday beginning at 1:30 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Eric Frandsen, AJ Knight, Ajay Salvesen, thanks for tuning in on a Thursday. This has been a lot of fun talking about different things going on in sports. We got some coaching changes in the NBA, potential player movement. So I guess the NBA and the Players Association today announced that they're going to extend their time for talks about when they can set their calendar to discuss the new collective bargaining agreement. I guess they're going to give themselves until October 30th, from what I understand.
Wow, so they're still coming up on that quick because that's, 2 weeks from tomorrow, right? Or no, 30. Yeah, 2 weeks,
2 weeks
from
from tomorrow.
Dang. I thought that's the funny thing. I thought that they had kind of agreed to everything, right? Because the draft is in November, and I thought they'd already kind of had an idea, Christmas, New Year's, start to the season. I thought they'd already kind of put some stuff in place.
Well, they talked loosely about that, but they've never set a firm time. And so it's looking more like, first it was going to be early December. Then it was going to be started on Christmas Day. And then it was going to be 1st of January. There's some rumblings that it might not start until mid to late January at this point. So, NBA is still trying to figure out.
I heard a really good argument when they first announced, I think, the bubble that said that if the NBA doesn't come back by Christmas, it'll be a miss because the NBA started to turn Christmas into what the NFL's done for Thanksgiving. And you can bet that if the NBA doesn't play on Christmas year, this NFL's going to be like, well, since no one's here.
We've got an opening.
Yeah. Let's take it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know about what you guys thought, but I enjoy the doubleheader for Monday night. Tuesday football really didn't. I didn't have a problem with that either. The NFL's always like, they're just going to inch closer and closer because they do the Saturday games once college football ends. They're like, you know what? Football every day.
Monday we've got the Chiefs and the Bills at 3 o'clock our time on Fox.
Oh my gosh,
that's
NFL.
super early.
3 o'clock, and then the later game will be 6:15 on ESPN. That'll be the traditional Monday night football game, but because of having to move things around, thanks to the Titans, it's kind of how things are now.
You put some stank on that one. Thanks
yeah, you did. That little tone of voice.
Hey, I want to update everybody real quickly on 4A girls soccer playoffs. We had several games happening around the area. One of them went final. A few of them went final while we were on the air yesterday, but a recap. Skyview with an upset at Cedar Valley. It was tied 1-1, but Skyview wins it in a shootout. So they advance. And what do they get for winning? Number 1 Ogden. And this number 1 Ogden team is really, really good. So Skyview's going to have their hands full on Saturday when they face them down in Ogden. Logan played Snow Canyon to a draw. Unfortunately, Snow Canyon gets the shootout there. Big upset, 13 seed over a 4 seed.
Semifinals bracket looking a little bit like March Madness.
Yes, there's a couple different upsets. Green Canyon took care of Juan Diego 4-1, so they will face Pineview on Saturday in North Logan. Ridgeline beating Cedar 6-1. They advance, and then Mountain Crest with an upset 2-0 at Canyon View. So it'll be Ridgeline versus Mountain Crest, that game in Millville, Saturday afternoon.
Ooh,
so
rivalry
another
game
Region 11
in the
matchup.
semifinals.
Yes.
Ooh.
So there are
speaking of
1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the quarterfinals in the 4A girls soccer tournament going on right now.
That's awesome. Hey, speaking of high school, AJ Knight, you were on the call last night with Matt Adams to call Mountain Crest 41-7 blowout of Hillcrest. What did you see out of Mountain Crest offense, and can they carry any of that momentum going into the state tournament?
They were two teams that were pretty similar. Just some quick stats for you. So both teams came in on a 6-game losing streak. Hillcrest averaged 9 points per game. Mountain Crest averaged 12 or 11. Hillcrest was giving up 36. Mountain Crest was giving up 29. And they'd both been shut out at least 2 times. They'd both Hillcrest, I think, had scored 7 or less 5 times. Mountain Crest had scored 8 or less 7 times. So they were both struggling offenses, decent defenses. And Mountain Crest just really jumped on them. They got the running game going. They were up 27-7 at half. And then you could tell kind of by design, unfortunately, you don't want to see any injuries, but Camden Oswald, the starting tailback, went down, and Veter, who plays both ways, but they've kind of used him sparingly on offense, took a lot of the carries in the first half, and he's their best playmaker. And so it really, I think, helped their offense having him kind of a full-time running back. But you could tell in the second half by design they kind of went away from the running game. They worked on the passing game. Former QBs, Benson had a good game at tight end. Lee, the wide receiver, had a good closeout. And 2 freshman quarterbacks actually scored touchdowns for Mountain Crest before the game was over. Let me shout them out. Carson Thatcher ran for 1, and Mason Kropp threw for 1 to close out that game.
Very cool. Very cool. And Hillcrest is a 5A school,
Class
right?
5A, yes.
So not only do they get the win, they also get it against a higher classification.
Yes.
So that could prove some big dividends for them once the final RPI rankings are released.
Yeah, I was talking to Hurricane because against Ridgeline, Mountain Crest was 20 out of 22, and I haven't seen an updated one since the Ridgeline game, but Mountain Crest was the only team in region that played last night, and there was someone, I guess, who follows it very closely, kind of does their own RPIs, actually had Mountain Crest jumping from 20 to 17 just after last night's game. So we'll see. It's not official, but that's someone who apparently does it follows it pretty closely and has been accurate in the past. So it'll be interesting to see because I think the cutoff is it 16 is the last home game? The last home seed? Because I can't remember. The first 10 are on bye.
Yeah, the first 10 get a first-round bye.
Yeah. And I think it's 11 through 16 host the first round, I think. And then 17 through...
Yes.
Is that right? 22?
No, I have to look at that.
That bracket's so weird because it's 22 teams, 10 teams around. I can't remember where the cutoff is, but I think they'll miss it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's 11 through 16 and then 17 through 22.
I think that's what I thought.
I think that's right. So anyway, that won't be revealed until Saturday because there are some other classifications, other teams that are playing still.
Yeah.
And so they're going to wait until Saturday before it's all said and done. Even though, if I'm not mistaken, I thought all 4A teams were done last night, but I think there may be a few others. And because if you're playing it out of the classification and depending what another classification does,
yeah,
they have to wait until everybody's done before they can finally release the RPI. So those playoff rankings and their seedings, that'll all be revealed likely on Saturday, and then we'll know what happens. Who stays home, who goes on the road, who gets a first-round bye. So a lot of different things still to be determined for football. Volleyball last night for the regular season for volleyball. Well, for a lot of teams, there may still be another game that they play early next week, but they're not displaying the RPI for volleyball until next week either, as those tournaments are going to begin pretty soon too. So.
Yeah, I'm on Utah. I'm on the RPI for football right now, and it won't show. It just says not available.
Right. They take it off for the final week.
What is this? college football playoffs. How many teams do you think are going to get in the top 10 for Region 11? Because Skyview and Ridgeline are locks, obviously.
Yeah,
and Bear River was flirting with it. Green Canyon kind of had a strong finish.
I think because of the way that Green Canyon finished, I think they will sneak into that top 10.
Really? Okay. So last year, all 6 teams had a home game. Obviously, was it Skyview? Was it who had the 2 byes? Was it Skyview and Ridgeline? Mountain Crest missed it. They were 11. Yeah, and then all the rest of them had home games, and I think Green Canyon got upset, and then everybody else moved on. So everyone except maybe Mountain Crest should have a home game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're going to be – Mountain Crest will definitely be on the road.
Yeah.
But it's just a question of how far do they go.
Not St.
George. What's the opponent look like? Yeah. All right, we're going to call another quick timeout here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, an update on what's going on in Major League Baseball. Got a game going on right now. They're in the 7th inning. We've got a game later tonight. And we also have our Pick 6, the 6 things we think might happen this weekend. Love to get your thoughts on it. Feel free to text in 435-339-0321 on the Full Court Press.
Has a farm, an appliance farm.
This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. Why buy from Daryl's? We have a great selection of scratch and dent appliances at up to 50% off. Get interest-free financing, plus you always get Daryl's outstanding service with every appliance. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
See Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
Summer heat will soon turn into rain and snow. Is the roof of your home or business prepared for another winter and spring? RoofMax by Quality Pace Roofing is a nationally recognized and approved roof rejuvenation product, saving you thousands over shingle replacement. RoofMax is a quick, easy, and affordable alternative to a complicated, expensive, and life-disrupting roof replacement, extending your asphalt shingle roof up to 15 years beyond the roof warranty. RoofMax by Quality Pace Roofing can now rejuvenate your asphalt shingle roof without replacement. Google Quality Pace Roofing or call 757-9642.
This is Larry from Larry's Pharmacies. Got your flu shot yet? I recommend everyone 6 months and older get vaccinated. The flu is a serious disease that annually kills thousands and hospitalizes hundreds of thousands. Toddlers, young adults, and seniors are affected most. Protect yourself, those around you, and the whole valley by getting vaccinated today. Come in, no appointment necessary. Stop it in its tracks and don't pass it on. We even come to group gatherings. Thanks, Cache Valley, supporting us for 20 years. Stay well.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. Be our guest October 15th, the third Thursday at 7 p.m. Come learn about Medicare and Social Security. Planning ahead will give you the confidence you need to make these important decisions. Come see us October 15th at 7 p.m. at our office by the North Walmart. Call 752-9493. The seminar is free. The information is extremely valuable. Call 752-9493 to RSVP as seating is limited.
Saturday on Compass Media Network's coverage of NCAA football. It's a primetime battle in the SEC as the second-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide host the third-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Hi, this is TJ Reeves. Join Tiki, Barber, and me for all the action as these two heavyweights clash under the lights at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. If it's college football, it's right here.
Saturday beginning at 5:30 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
The Aggies, Jazz, high schools, even the Pee Wee's T-ball team. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Currently in the top of the 7th inning, the Rays are trailing the Astros. Astros are up 3-2, 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Game is on TBS. In case you want to, if you're on your way home and you're looking for that game to watch, it'll be on TBS.
Cheer the Rays.
Rays and the Astros. Astros, their bats just were more consistent last night, I felt like. That Springer dinger late in the game was a big one.
Somebody trademark that because they really should.
They should. Then later tonight, 6 o'clock, it's the Dodgers and the Braves on Fox, not FS1. It will be on Fox, and Atlanta leads that series 2-1. How much momentum can be changed to someone? Bless you, Ajay.
You know, it's funny. Matt Adams and I, my color guy from Mountain Crest Football, we were talking a little bit about baseball last night because he showed me the score during halftime that it was like 15-1. I was like, geez. And he made a good point. He said the Nuggets-Jazz series should show everyone that it doesn't matter how much you crush a team by in one game. In a series, it's still one game.
Yeah, that's true. Totally true. Whether you lose by 1 or lose by 20, it's still a loss.
Still a game. But I told Ajay and I told Matt last night on the broadcast, I said I felt like you could see this kind of coming because L.A. lost the first 2 games, but they made them interesting late, especially at the second one. Because I remember watching it, and it was like 7-3 or 7-2 in the 8th, and I was like, whatever. And I look back, and it's 8-7. I'm like, how did this happen? So I felt like it was coming. So that one I feel like Ajay and I talked about this, and I think that would be an interesting follow-up question to Ajay because neither of us asked that. Which leading series team would be in more trouble? Because obviously if Houston wins, it's 3-2 as opposed to 2-2 if the Dodgers win. But who's going to be in more trouble, Tampa or Atlanta if they don't win tonight?
Yeah, I think it's Atlanta, right? Because you're square at a series, and if you're square with the Dodgers and you give them, and when I say being square, they're behind 2-0, they're back to being 2-2. It's a brand new series. It's now the first 1-4. So instead of, you won 2 in a row already. All you have to do is reset and go win 2 more in a row, and then you're in. If the Braves don't win tonight, they probably lose the series.
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, the math.
Eric, what are your thoughts?
The math would support what you say.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think that it puts especially with the way that the Dodgers finished Game 2, the way they played dominant in Game 3. Yeah. I think that their momentum is swinging on their side. If the Braves don't take care of business today and allow this to get tied up, then I think L.A. has a lot of momentum going in their favor.
It's fair.
I think that the Rays still just need to take care of one game, and they've got several games to do that. So I think that the more pressure would be on Atlanta.
No, the math would support that. You're probably right. I guess the better question would be who would you feel better about coming back from down in the series, the Dodgers or Houston? And I think I would still pick the Dodgers probably because Houston was kind of up and down all season. Though it's funny, you and I were talking about Altuve yesterday, and then I saw home run last night.
Yeah, he looked good last night. He hit the ball really well. It's not a physical issue with him.
No, right here. Attack of conscience.
Okay, so that's what's going on with baseball, and I know you guys covered that a lot earlier. But let's now shift gears a little bit to our pick 6.
Okay.
So we're going to do actually 2 lines from each of us today. Normally it's 3 from me, 3 from Ajay, but we have AJ Knight in here, and so we get.
Pardon me, barging in.
We get 2 lines each, and we'll definitely have to come up with a tiebreaker here for this one. But since I was perfect last week, I had a perfect pick 6.
Bravo.
I'm actually going to choose to defer, and I'm going to have Ajay go first with his first 2 lines for this weekend.
Of course you would. Hey, wait. Hey, by the way, who owes who right now? I've lost count.
Let's see. I owed you, then you owed me, or was it the other way around?
Remember, man.
You guys got to keep a
you
tally
owe
somewhere.
me now. I think I owed you the week before, but I think I broke the streak before you had to go into quarantine.
You guys just put a
I
whiteboard.
think I owe you.
Put a whiteboard in the budget and just put it up on the wall and just keep track of tally marks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'll go first. Zach Wilson, one of the Heisman finalists as of right now in the NCAA football ranks. Easily one of the greatest quarterbacks in BYU history, and is making himself be well known as the Heisman leading finalist, I should say, in the Heisman race. They play Houston tomorrow night. I'm gonna say his yards against Houston at 310.5 over under.
Total yards or passing yards?
Passing yards.
Zach Wilson passing yards when he's at Houston at 310 yards and a half. 310 and a half.
Both these teams score. I'll take. Wow. Over. I'll take over. Houston allows 31 points a game.
Yeah, Houston's not. I mean, they've only had one real game. I'm. I think I'm gonna take the under.
Probably.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over. They have 17 players out for tomorrow night. 17.
Sheesh. Well, so on the season, Wilson has 1,241 yards in 4 games, which divided by 3 is approximately 310 and a quarter. So he's averaging.
Did you do that math before, Ajay, or did you just pull that out?
Eric, my strategies are none of your business. Okay, do I get my second one, or do we go around?
Nope.
Okay, I do get my second one then. Okay, yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure which way we were going with this. All right, Packers at Buccaneers. This one is sexy in every way. Tom Brady, speaking of being sexy, Aaron Rodgers, passing yards total. Okay, passing yards total between the two quarterbacks. I'm going to set it at 575.5 over under.
I want to look at this one. Hold on.
I'm gonna take the over. Now, to be specific, this is between Brady and Rodgers. Because if some other quarterback comes in,
none of that.
It doesn't count.
Crap.
It doesn't count.
Okay, we're making a note. Rodgers, Brady.
What did you said 5? What did you say? What was the line again?
575.5.
Yeah, I'll take the over. Yeah, I'll take the over.
Wow, really?
Yeah, this one's gonna be a shootout. I think both of these defenses are. They're not overrated because Tampa was to begin the season. They're not that good. I mean, Green Bay gave up 30 points to the Falcons. Falcons
True.
without Julio.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over 2.
Okay, I don't know if you wanted to go second or not, but I actually have one from the Bucks Packers game as well.
Okay, go for it.
So Tom Brady leads the NFL in pick sixes already this year, and he has 4 interceptions on the season in 5 games. Tom Brady interceptions over under half. Because it's going to be shootout. It's fun because I was going to make the argument that there's going to be a lot of passing, and it seems like when that happens, he has a bad habit of going, oops. Over under half.
Eric, what are you saying?
I'm going to take the under.
I took over last time, and the Bears dropped 2 interceptions.
Sorry, that's my team. I don't know how to judge those guys. I thought for sure. I started Tom Brady. I had the Bucs defense in fantasy. Then my team was like, "Oh, okay. Well, now we'll figure it out."
I'm gonna say under.
I'm taking the over. He's gonna throw his 3rd pick 6 in this game.
Wait, are you saying a pick or a pick 6?
No, I said picks, but I'm telling you, it's going back to the house. Someone's making a house call against Brady in this one.
Okay.
Okay, and my second one, going local on this one. So there's 4 Region 11 girls teams in the quarterfinals. 2 of them play each other, so obviously only one can make it through. Over under to make it to the semifinals, 1.5.
I'm saying over. I love our Region 11 girls soccer squads.
There are 2 seeds that are favored. Obviously, Ridgeline and Green Canyon?
Green Canyon,
yes.
yep.
Those 2 are higher seeds. Skyview gets the 1 seed as the 9 seed. Mountain Crest obviously gets...
Wait, what was it? 2.5?
1.5.
Well, yeah, over.
I'm also taking the over.
I'm going to take the over on that one.
Go Region 11!
Yeah, that's a good line. That's good. All right, for me, number 3 Georgia is at number 2 Alabama this week, and a lot has been made about Nick Saban and not being able to be on the sidelines with his team. This is a simple. Are you going with the spread in this game?
Oh.
Currently, the line is set at 4.5 for Alabama.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
I mean, did you watch Alabama's defense against Ole Miss? Because I'm pretty sure nobody did. I couldn't see him. I had binoculars
This is
and everything.
without Nick Saban, too.
I know.
Man, that's bonkers.
So, do you take Alabama over, or you take Georgia to cover?
I got Georgia covering.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia in the points.
Yes, you both are taking the under on that. I'm going to take the over.
No way. Can I hear a reason why?
Just because you guys took the unders.
Got to find a way to steal a point.
Well, and you know what? This, even though they didn't look great against Ole Miss, look, this is still a really, really, really well-run football program. They know that their coach isn't on the sidelines. They're going to rally around him.
He's going to...
I'm trying to justify my position.
See, here's the thing, AJ. This is what's going to happen, and this happens all the time. Eric freaking pulls one out of his butt. He's doing it just because he's trying to spite me, or just cause a little bit of chaos, and then he ends up winning it. Now, I used to. We got to come up with a name for this. You got depantsed by Eric. Okay, that's what it would be. You got depantsed by Eric when he pulls one out of his butt because he picked him because we picked over and he wants to pick under or whatever, and he ends up winning. You got depants. That's what it would be called.
Good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Saban's just going to Hugh Freeze it like at Liberty. He's going to be in the hospital bed calling him up, still making the play calls.
Could you imagine a player coming off the sideline after making a mistake, and then the assistant coach is like, "Hey, Nick's FaceTiming you. Look at the phone."
Look, go get the iPad right now.
Oh, I'd hate that. I'd hate that.
Ooh. All right, my last line is there's a really good Monday night game. It's the Chiefs and the Bills. Bills didn't look great against Tennessee.
My favorite saying, they got their teeth kicked in by the Titans.
Yes, that was so the Bills haven't had a lot of time. They'll have a short week to get ready for Kansas City. Sort of. I mean, they played on Tuesday. They'll play on Monday, so it's not that bad.
Kansas City had a big loss, too.
They did. It was kind of a surprising loss. So this is an opportunity as a rebound game for both. But for me, what I'm going to be looking for is which team's going to have the more rushing yards. I think we'll focus a lot on these quarterbacks, but which team is going to have more rushing yards? Kansas City or Buffalo?
I mean, I'm going to take Buffalo because I was just listening to a preview on FS1. They were talking about the potential of Bell signing with Kansas City, which he's supposed to, and then they were discussing it on the Gottlieb show, and they said, well, why would they sign him? And they said, well, we don't know because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is really talented. They were never really out of the game against the Raiders. The Raiders just kept scoring, and they ran the ball 10 times.
So you're taking Buffalo.
I'll take Buffalo. They'll commit to it.
Okay. Ajay?
So wait, what's the line again?
Which team will have more rushing yards, Kansas City or Buffalo?
Oh, Buffalo.
I'm going to take Kansas City.
Because we took Buffalo?
Yeah. It's the indifferent pick.
That's our pick six. We've got to call a quick timeout here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, some final thoughts.
The Logan Gift Show is now accepting applications for the 2020 show. This year's gift show is November 6th and 7th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. We would love to have your creative, unique, festive, and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. It's all about fun, style, and quality. Amazing food, demonstrations, ideas, and your business will help deliver a gift show to remember. Visit with thousands of people looking for gift ideas and fun holiday cheer. Go to LoganGiftShow.com. That's LoganGiftShow.com. For details or call 752-1390 for more information. Sponsored by the Cache Valley Media Group.
Hi, my name is Josh Watts, and for 3 generations, Preston Watts Collision and Glass has taken care of all your collision and auto glass needs. Windshield replacement is just one of our specialties. We have certified technicians and the most competitive prices in the valley. We will waive up to $100 off your insurance deductible, give you free rock chip repairs, and to top it off, we'll wash your vehicle inside and out with your windshield replacement. Give us a call at 563-3215. At Preston Watts, we do it right.
The new home for the Full Court Press. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
It's in the bottom of the 7th, and the Astros still lead the Rays 3-2 later tonight. with the runner on second.
Eric, I am guaranteeing a Game 4 win for my Braves. I guarantee.
So what if you lose that guarantee? How are you backing this guarantee?
He loses a point on the pick six automatically. 1 in the hole.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. We need a tiebreaker.
We need a tiebreaker.
What's a good tiebreaker?
Braves.
AJ, help us.
Will there be which team finishes? Which team wins? Because by the time we return on Monday, we'll probably have a series done.
Oh, the series? Oh, no.
But which series?
Well, let's go National League.
Dodgers.
I guarantee it. Oh my! What the world just happened?
Dodgers will win the series.
That's not a tiebreaker if we all pick it. That's not how this works. What just happened?
Mind games.
Oh my! I need to go. What is going on?